The stock of the day is brought to you by IG, Australia's #1 CFD provider. With over 17,000 markets and extended trading hours, turn US earnings season volatility into opportunity. Get started at IG.com.
So the stock of the day is Boss Energy. Shares are having a very good day, thank you very much, after it bought 23.5 million shares in Laramide Resources, worth about 9%. So the deal will increase Boss's interest in the Canadian listed uranium explorer and developer to about 18.4%. Laramide also has a flagship uranium project in Queensland called Westmoreland, and it also has operations, of course, in Canada and the United States. So it's a volatile stock, that Boss Energy, as are the rest of the uranium plays, and that's not a great looking chart there. But Mark, do you still reckon, as far as uranium story, that Boss Energy has some legs?
Absolutely, and I think this is a pretty good move from them overall. Obviously, that chart looks pretty horrible, but it's a roller coaster ride for uranium because it's very much a thematic trade. Anyone holding ASX 200 worrying about how we started the week this week, just ask a uranium investor, how their last year's been, and it'll be they'll laugh at you basically. So 10% is like a Tuesday for Boss Energy and Paladin. So these ones are really, we bought last year, we wrote it up that we're with a very sort of tight trailing stop, and then we didn't revisit. We think we bought back into Paladin around the $9 mark or $8 mark, and after taking some decent profits. And this Boss is sort of up there as well, but I think the acquisition is pretty smart in terms of geographical diversification. By the time most of these things get into production, Trump will be probably a memory. But the underlying thematic is that we're going to get increased uranium demand, increased nuclear power demand, infrastructure built and demand basically until at least 2040, and they expect it to grow by, I think, something like 30% till 2030, and then compounded on top of that another 50%. The small modular reactors are now starting to be rolled out or being proposed to be rolled out. It's a bit of you don't necessarily use more uranium. In some cases you will with some versions of it, but it's more enriched uranium. So they're really, and they have a longer cycle, so there'll need to be a lot bought to fuel those things. So
today, is Boss a buy, a hold, or a sell?
I think it's a buy, but you just go in small allocation size and just look at it in the distant future. Because I think
bottom drawer kind of stuff.
It's a bottom drawer sort of thing. And look, if you're not good with risk, probably just don't bother because it can be scary.
So you have to believe in the uranium story, and the uranium price is more complicated than some other commodities that trade on futures exchanges. So are you ultimately a believer that uranium will be in demand because of our future energy needs?
Yes. But I've got no idea what the uranium price will be or what the supply side response looks like or the technicalities. There's just too many swing factors in a company like this, Nadine, so it's not one for us. I do read that it's probably the best of, or one of the two best on our market if you want the uranium exposure, because it does have quite a lot of North American exposure, I believe. And I think it's got a pretty good balance sheet, which is really important. It can fund itself and those sort of things. So if you're a real uranium bull, this is probably the one you go for. But it's not that I don't believe in the uranium story. I hope it does work, but I just don't, like as we've seen with lithium and a whole lot for us, it's very hard. So I'll be a sell.
Got it. Thank you. That is our stock of the day, Boss Energy.
The stock of the day was brought to you by IG. Turn volatility into opportunity this US earnings season with extended trading hours on over 110 key US shares. Get started at IG.com.